My YouTube friends is coming to get that lathe tomorrow. Jeff, Shanico Jeff, I call him, and I know he wants to hear Fred start up, so we're gonna have Fred running for him tomorrow. Oh, I love the smell of gas in the morning. Well, I have a little issue. That spring started running back here. Runs out of the bank. Right. Somewhere right there. Right there. Yeah. Right there. Anyway, I knew that spring was there. It does not run every year. It ran for just a little bit last year, but this year we had, we had a lot of snow this winter. Large snowpack in the mountains. This spring started up again and was running pretty good. Since I was aware of that spring, I put a drain field in around this whole building, around my shop. Both sides. Around the back it's a big horseshoe drain. So, and it's got rock in there. But the silt must have kind of sealed it off right here because I had standing water back here. And the way this land's been slipping around here this year, I don't want to come home and find my shop down this canyon. So I decided I better get that water out of there. And I got the backhoe in here and I got myself a little moat built and we're going to put alligators in there. Anyway, the drain field is working down here. It's leaching down and going into the rocks and draining out. But I'm going to put a pipe in here anyway and then cover this up. And hopefully I won't have to mess with it again. But this all happened, of course, right in the middle of grafting season. That's when everything breaks. And so I dug this probably 2 weeks ago or more. And here it sits still. But soon now I will be able to get this buttoned up. My friend Ironclad, Shanico Jeff, is coming to get that lathe, and I'm happy about that. It's in my way. I want it out of here, and I want him to have it. It's going to a good home. He's a good man, and he's going to put it to good use, and I'm really happy that it's going to Jeff. So we're going to get that. He's on his way up with his trailer. He came up from Oregon last night, and he and his wife and granddaughter, I believe, are coming up this morning. We're going to get that baby on the trailer and get it out of here. I don't want to damage it, and that was my concern. I didn't want to drag it out here and leave it out. Even though it's tarped, I just didn't want to have it out here in the elements. It rained really hard the other day, and I'm glad it was under cover. But I'm afraid I will damage it with that backhoe if I get in there and start banging around. So we're going to get it out of here today. And Jeff, he just kind of, he has a crush on old Fred. He's really fond of old Fred. So this is not a cold start, not by any means. I took the battery out of my rat rod last night, brought it out here, and stuck it in old Fred, and lo and behold, he fired right up. But like I said, it's not a cold start. This is just a Fred start. And it's really cold-blooded, and it don't have a choke, so it's kind of hard to get started. But once it gets warmed up, it runs great. So you'll hear it. He's awesome. Fred's awesome, aren't you, buddy? I just stuck that battery in there last night, so one of the cables is not tight. I'll get that taken care of. go get a half-inch wrench and get that fixed up. But give you a fire again. Come on, Fred, do your thing, bud. Now I gotta tighten that cable. So, better get that lathe taken care of first. I'm gonna try and give old Fred a little bit of love this summer. He needs a few things. He needs a choke, a manual choke for sure. He needs a motor mount. There was a neighbor kid come down here one time and had him moving some irrigation pipe on the back of this thing, and he got it stuck, and he, instead of coming to get me, he sat there and just romped on it and rocked it until he busted the motor mount loose. And he wasn't supposed to be driving it anyway, so that was a teenage boy. You know, I never did anything like that when I was a teenage boy. So, let's see. What else? Motor mount. I think a master cylinder. I think I've got one in there for it. Not a master cylinder, a master cylinder kit. And, you know, other than that, old Fred just needs to be driven. So I think I'm going to fire him up here. Maybe let him warm up a little bit. Boy, that's a good old motor in that thing. That old 235 it's runs smooth as silk. Don't hear any lifter noise or anything. Runs really good, real tight. Someone has upgraded that truck. It would have originally had a 216 in it, I believe. Somebody's put a 235 in it, which was a good upgrade. It's got the pressurized oil system, so a little better than those old splashers, dippers, whatever you want to call them. You know, Fred got good glass, you know, all the way around. It's not all beat up, no big, doesn't have gate fenders. The fenders are smooth. I need a headlight ring. Let's see, what else? Oh, the interior is really rough on him, real rough. But that's typical of these old orchard rigs. But well, Fred's got a pretty nice patina. I like him. I like him a lot. This truck and I, for the new subscribers, I have a history of this truck that goes back to 1973. When I unloaded fruit, I was driving forklift at a apple packing plant as a young man, and this truck came in all the time. And some of the first people I met when I moved to this state in 1972 owned this truck, a guy named Fred Davis, and when he would haul his fruit down, or his dad, Elsie, started out, it was Elsie's truck, so they'd haul their fruit down 4 or 6 bins at a time, maybe 8 on this old truck, apples and pears, and so I unloaded fruit off of this truck many years ago. And then when they cut the orchard down, stopped farming, it was a small farm, and they got pushed out, as most small farmers did back in the 70s. So he said if his grandson didn't want it, it was mine. And his grandson didn't want it at the time, and I bet he's kicking himself now. But so he sold me this truck for $300, and I absolutely love it. Okay, I gotta set that idle down a little bit. I'll go get a screwdriver and do that. getting warmed up pretty good now. Hey Jeff, I know you want to fire up old Fred, so go ahead and climb in there and see if he'll start.
Alrighty.
That's one of your favorites, isn't it?
It's
Fred
my favorite.
Fred the Flatbed.
Oh yeah, this is his. Talk about this thing all the time. All the time.
Oh, flip the switch on your left. There is the fuel pump.
Huh?
No, it don't have choke. Oh, you got it. Just turn the key and it'll go. What, starter?
Yeah, he was just talking about the whole ride up here. He likes his old truck.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, I love that old iron. Well, you think it would make it to Oregon, Jeff?
Oh, it's a Chevy.
Well, we might have to put some tires on it.
Absolutely.
Don't want it to fall off. That's a truck. Man, is that a truck. One more little item that's going to go home with Jeff and go in his blacksmith shop.
Yeah.
Oh, John's going to go. The Duke's going to go down to Oregon. Well, that's quite a truck. I think old Jeff made a mistake bringing his wife along because she walked all around the property and the backyard and the waterfall, and she took pictures of everything that she wants him to go home and build. You've had it, buddy. I'm going to try and give old Love cut.